know if you can notice, but I actually have some filters that I'm working with my camera. It makes little rainbows in the background, like this one right here. Alright, so earth signs. We're getting very close to Christmas. So some of you might be enjoying time with your family for the holidays. Some of you might be enjoying some well-deserved time alone. I think it's important when we're getting to the winter holiday that we really take some time to focus and care for ourselves. So just be mindful to stay grounded, earth signs. I know you will. I know you will. I know you will, because that's your gift. So, when I do the readings, I will do one for each of the 3 earth signs, and then when I have finished each sign, I'm going to turn the cards over. And then we go over to the extended, the members portion of the channel, and I scry some additional messages using my shoe stones, my opals. I also wanted to mention that I do personal readings at several different price points. So you can get a paper reading, you can get a video. Well, it's not paper, it's like a PDF. I also do geomancy readings. So if any of those things interest you, they are available both on my website and on Etsy.com. And now, to clear the space and get ready for the readings, I'm going to be using selenite. And we're just gonna sweep it. Oh. Well, I can tell you this story while I'm clearing the energy. So, my spouse went on to offer up this morning and found a listing for vintage crystals and minerals. And that cracked him up so hard because all of these crystals took like millions, thousands and millions of years to form inside the earth, right? So what exactly constitutes a vintage crystal, right? We both thought that was kind of funny. I, of course, understand that, sometimes when they dig up crystals, it was the 1950s, and sometimes people call that a vintage crystal, but still, it's kind of silly, right? This one has copper wrapped around it for extra conductivity. I don't know. There we go. Now you can see that. And you can see all my little rainbows from my filters. Alright, earth signs. Today I'm going to be using a deck that I didn't realize I was going to like so much. It is the Miss Cleo's Tarot Power deck. It's actually ancient Egyptian themed, so you know I love that. And I don't know how many of you grew up in the 90s and remember the advertisements that actually got some people into some hot water. Oh, Miss Cleo's not really Jamaican. That's not really how she talks. The fraud, you know. I mean, it was a simpler time, let's put it that way. Let's all show a little compassion and love for somebody who played a beloved character on television, shall we? And excuse me just a moment. I think I'm going to knock this up just a notch. There we go. Okay, that's a much better angle. A much better angle. You feel good? You feeling good in there? Yeah, okay. Get out my sheet of paper so that I can write down the timestamps. And that is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So we're going to start out with the Taurus reading today. Around. I apologize, and make sure that I have space for all of the cards that I'm going to be laying out, so just give me a moment here to collect myself. Okay. Taurus, if you would please just kind of relax, focus on your breathing. Think about some problems in your life that you would like to solve, but don't think about how much they irritate you. Think about the possible solutions that you could apply to change these things for the better. And mostly, just focus gently on your breathing. There's no need to hyperventilate, but just take a breath in and breathe out and kind of sigh and release all of that tension and any negativity that you've been holding on to. Because we are coming up on Jesus' birthday, and Jesus wants everyone to reach their full potential. Okay, Taurus. Let's get into your reading, shall we? Okay. Oh, very strong showing right off the bat. Lots of minor arcana. Lots of minor arcana this time for you. Oh, key major arcana. A couple of really good major arcana cards, but a lot of minor arcana. And a good blend. A good blend of all the signs. So this is a very balanced reading, it looks like, for you, Taurus. And it looks like not a lot of cataclysmic events, right? One thing that I did want to point out right off the bat, and I don't typically start with this position in the reading, but from an outsider's perspective, we only had 2 major arcana cards come up for you in this reading, and one of them was in the outside perspective looking in, and it's a very good placement. We have the Star card, and it's upright, People see that your hopes and your dreams are coming true at this time, Taurus. And they have a lot of confidence in you, admire you, see you as the star. This is fellow fixed sign Aquarius's energy. It's a very social energy. And it's all about the energies that you pour out into other people. Remember that Aquarius being the water bearer, right? But now, Taurus, let's back it up, and we will go back over that card again when we get to it in the reading. I do like to take things in order. It's the Virgo rising in me that likes to be organized. Here in the past, we have the Page of Coins, and this card is upright. So what this tells me is that you could have recently started a job. Doesn't have to be a fancy job. It could be another source of income has just started for you also. And this card being in the upright, I feel like it's kind of, you're still kind of in the onboarding process, either at this particular job or in whatever this money-making situation is. Maybe your portfolio is still getting set up, but that this is something that is going to show returns to you very soon. In the current position, we have the Six of Staffs, which is a card of victory. You see that he's on this high point surrounded by these other people who are down much lower. So he has achieved a pinnacle. Now, these people are not interfering with him like they would be on the Seven of Staffs card, right? So you've reached this pinnacle of success, and it's time to celebrate. And that card is crossed by the King of Cups. The King of Cups could be a father. The King of Cups could be some other kind of paternal figure who helps to support you possibly in your life. And let's see, okay. Just checking something. The King of Cups is an actively nurturing energy. So whereas the Queen of Cups can be a little more passive and can have the tendency to keep their own emotions hidden, the King of Cups is very actively nurturing, might help you pay rent, might help you pay bills, might also give fatherly advice. So this card is always upright because that is how we read the crossing card for the current position. So this would be somebody who is fostering you in a positive way and not somebody who is letting their own capacity for nurturing turn into manipulation, because of course all kinds of family dynamics exist, and I understand that. But this would be somebody that you probably are very grateful to have in your life at this time, who might have even helped you achieve this victory. We already went over that card. I'm getting lost. It's because I deviated from my typical. Here in the Imam Silai, now this card has to do with what will eventually be coming in the outcome position. We have the Nine of Cups here. This card is about wish fulfillment. And you can see that the figure sitting here on this throne, this very regal chair, has the 9 cups stacked above their head, and has a very content look on their face as well, if you can see that right there. Yeah, they just look very content where they are. From your perspective, we have another even number wand. So, we have a dip. I did get my Ethernet cable, so I have my computer plugged in to Ethernet, and I'm hoping that will help with some of the connectivity issues I've been having. We have the Four of Wands, and this Four of Wands is about celebration. It can be about marriage. We have here 2 figures depicted, kind of wrapping ribbons around each other. They've got these beautiful flowers, but mostly it's a card about a happy ending with a sequel. So things are going very well for you, possibly at this time, Taurus. It does look so good. And because a lot of these cards are minor arcana, that is more like the mundane. So you're not grappling necessarily with a lot of higher philosophical issues at this time either. Now, there is plenty of time for that in one's life. And just to remind you that from the outside looking in, people see you as the star. They see you as somebody who is pouring energy into different social groups to excellent effect. Somebody who is a delight to be around. You could be on your way to fame and fortune as well. And people from the outside looking in perceive this about you, Taurus. In the future position, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is about speaking your truth. It is about, no matter what is going on with other people, if there's something going on that is damaging you, you're going to speak up about it. If there is something going on that is dishonest and it is affecting you adversely, you're going to speak up about it. The Queen of Swords is not so much about promoting the truth of other people necessarily. Now, if this has to do with your child or your good close friend or somebody else who's very close to you, the Queen of Swords will speak up about issues like that as well. This card is in the upright and it's in the future. So I think that you perceive where this might need to take place. And that you might be planning what you're going to say. You might be planning how you're going to say it. We do have a lot of this air sign energy here, leading into it with the star card, right? So you might have air sign energy in your chart, but this energy that starts out as the star, as this popularity, there might come a time for you when you need to set good boundaries with people, and that might be why we have the Queen of Swords showing up here in the future. Taurus, in the hopes and fears, we have the Nine of Staffs, so the Nine of Wands. And why this is showing up in your hopes and fears, you could be feeling defensive, or you could sense that there is a need for you to be on your guard. Now this is in a diagonal with the Four of Staffs, and then also in that center position with the Six of Staffs. So this Nine of Staffs might be a preemptive of the potential for that Seven of Staffs, where people start attacking you because of what you've achieved. You might be kind of hyper aware of that at this time and have it in the back of your mind. And here in the midheaven position, Taurus, we have the Moon card, and it's reversed, but that's not necessarily bad. So remember that we're coming out of this energy with the Nine of Cups, the wish fulfillment. And when we have a period of wish fulfillment, there can be kind of a lull afterward, and there can be kind of a lack of clarity as to what one must do next. Now, this isn't consistent. Like every time you have something really good happen, it's not going to throw you into existential crisis. But I think the potential for that in this situation is here. Remember, I was talking about this look of contentment on the guy's face, right? He looks so content and so happy. Rather than spending too much time just kind of basking in the glow, which I do think it's important for you to do that, Taurus. I do. I'm not saying that you shouldn't bask in the glow of what you've achieved. But what I am saying is that it's also important to start planning for your next step. Because while you have the momentum, it's going to be a lot easier to have that clarity, okay? So that is my advice to you about this Moon card showing up in the midheaven in the reverse. Just to take some time now to really get clear what it is that you want. Gosh, my connection just really is not good right now. What is going on here? Okay, and we're back. Taurus, your final outcome is the Three of Coins in the reverse. And this Three of Coins can be about a collaborative project. So we could even look at these together. That this might be unclear because you might have new collaborators coming in to your life that you have not started planning this project yet, and therefore you don't know what it's going to look like, and you might not know what it's going to look like until those people come in and start working with you. So that's possible. Those are all possibilities in this reading, Taurus. But overall, a very good reading. We do see a progression there from this Page of Coins, this job that you've just gotten. Now your professional reputation is building, and new things will be coming in for you on the horizon as well. So that's very exciting for you, Taurus. All right, so now we're going to move on to the sign of Virgo. And this is going to be Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, whatever placement you would like to know about based on planetary correspondences, North Node even. So let's mix the cards up. And Virgo, if you would just take some time, take some deep breaths and relax, and kind of think about what it is that you would like to work on moving into the next year. And how you would like to finish out this year. We're not quite done with 2021 yet, but close. Very close. All right, let's deal out the cards. Interesting, interesting, interesting what we have coming in for you, Virgo. So I see that you're in the process of changing a lot of things, not just about yourself, but maybe about your environment, maybe about the way you do things, maybe about your attitudes towards things. With this Ace of Swords, this is a sword of transformation that is perpetuated from within to the world around you. And that card is showing me like the immediate recent past, okay? So that's what we know is going on for what is carrying us into the current situation. So here we have the Ten of Wands. You could be simplifying a lot of things in your life right now. You could be casting off a lot of burdens and oppression. And this is coupled with the Ten of Cups, that you are also experiencing emotional fulfillment at this time. And that card will be upright because it's the crossing card. Down here in the Imam Silai, so this is the current situation, and my internet is just really giving me a run for my money today, so I hope that this isn't coming through too patchy. We have the Five of Cups, so there might be some kind of disappointment for you, Virgo, that you are currently dealing with. It might also be a release of emotion, because we have these 3 cups down here that have been dumped out, but we still have these 2 cups that are being guarded by this person. So it might also be about having gone through a certain amount of loss, and now you're much more guarded about the emotional energy that you have left. So that could be why the Five of Cups is showing up here also. From your perspective, that's definitely what we're getting with this Four of Coins. That there's a conservation of your resources here. This can be money, but it can also be your emotional energy. From the outside perspective looking in, we have another 4. So that's something kind of interesting that's going on here, that we have the Emperor card, and we also have the 4 of coins. That you perceive this as a time when you are conserving resources. And from the outside looking in, people see you as being very organized, really having control over your existence. So this might have come through because of this Ace of Swords that we have kind of in the background here. And it's interesting that we would have this 10 of Cups of emotional fulfillment going on here, but then also have the 5 of Cups. So that 5 of Cups is kind of like half of the emotional fulfillment is there. And half of the emotional fulfillment has kind of been squandered, perhaps. Or that there's a disconnect there for sure. Here in the future, we have another 5, which is the 5 of Wands, and it's in the upright. This can be about competition, and it can be about like sparring. So taking part in competitive tasks that help the entire group to kind of train up and become better at what they're doing. So you might be put into an environment that will help you train up and get better at what you are already doing. This card is showing up in the future, and it's showing up upright. So that leads me to believe that there's going to be better attributes attached to it than if it was in the reverse. Because if it was showing up in the reverse in the future, then we could look at it more like rivalries that might be on the horizon that you don't see yet. And I also think that this is going to be pulling you out of whatever funk you're in here with the 5 of Cups, because this person just seems kind of depressed, kind of down. And that could be what is going on here in the Imam Silai. That if it's not necessarily a disappointment, it could be an ebb in your emotional energies, that you want to be able to have the energy and the creativity to put into things, but in the current state, you are experiencing a little difficulty in that department, because everything else surrounding that looks very good. It doesn't look like there's really that much of a cause for disappointment, Virgo, in your life right now. It might just be that you are lacking enrichment. So here in the hopes and fears, we have the World card, and the World card is about completion. This is associated with the element of Earth. Is also associated with the planet Saturn, which is a very slow-moving energy. So this completion is one that does not come easily, right? This is not like a quick one-day project. This is you have journeyed through the entirety of the major arcana of the tarot, gone through that entire journey, and now you are reaching the highest level of mastery and completion. So this card is upright. I think that it is not that you fear the hard work that goes into it, but even the most spiritually enlightened people had to go through periods where they were feeling a little stuck, a little lost, a little emotionally backward. And you might just need to correct course a little bit to kind of pull yourself out of this. Here in the midheaven, we do have the 8 of Cups in the upright. So this is moving, this is leaving, relocating, leaving a situation behind. And I don't think that it is this situation that you're leaving behind. It's possible that you're leaving this depression behind, whatever this situation is that's making you feel kind of stuck and depressed. You're going to be coming out of that. And this figure is actually leaving that situation by attaining a higher state of enlightenment. And that is why they are meditating here. Your final outcome card is actually quite like your current situation card, right? So we have the Hanged Man, and he's showing up in the reverse. No more delays, no more sacrifices, no more burdens, no more oppression. You're really starting to push out of your life all of the things which have the potential to hold you back or slow you down. Now, in a lot of decks, the World card and the Hanged Man are kind of mirrors of each other, in that if you look at the World card as like the tree of life, the entirety of the known universe, the world itself, then the Hanged Man is kind of the inverse of that, hanging down, almost like the world of shells as a mirror of that. And so what we are seeing here is that you are reaching out toward this attainment of the world. A very good reading for you, Virgo. And I think you will have an excellent holiday season. So now let's move on to the sign of Capricorn. Okay, and I'll write down the timestamp for that. And Capricorn, again, if you would just relax, kind of clear your mind of a lot of distractions. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in very gently. No need to take rough breaths or hyperventilate, but breathe in really gently. And then exhale in kind of a sigh and release any negativity you've been holding on to, any fear, any anxiety. Just kind of let it melt out through your mouth. Right? And kind of think about some things you'd like answers to. These might be things over the course of the next week, month, year. And don't think about what it is that stresses you out about them. Think about what the possible solutions could be. All right, so interesting, very interesting so far. Lots of reversals, lots of reversed energy. Not across the board, but quite a few reversals. Enough uprights that I know that that's how those cards are supposed to come out, though. But what it shows me when you have a lot of reversals in your reading, Capricorn, you might be telling yourself no too much. Now remember that when we're working in manifestation, we like to avoid using the negative statement, like I do not want blah blah blah, because that is going to convolute what it is that you actually want. And I actually watched a really effective video. There's a channel called Law of Attraction Solutions, and I just really love Robert Zink's videos, full confession. So he had made this video, and I won't really break it down here because obviously you should just go watch it. But using statements like can't and don't are going to slow you down. I don't do X, Y, or Z. I can't do X, Y, or Z. Those things are going to slow you down a lot. Another thing that could be happening with all these reversals here is that you could be feeling like situations are very convoluted. So again, there's like this confusing of situations. There's this convolution going on. And let's kind of look into some of these things and see what's going on, shall we? So here in the past, we have the Two of Coins, and this card is showing up reversed. Almost like things were in balance, and now they're not. It's very strange. And we'll get to the card in the way that you perceive the current state of affairs, but I will tell you that it is the Justice card upright. That's a very strong major arcana card, and it is showing up upright, whereas you do have a lot of other cards, again, similar to Taurus. You have a few major arcana cards showing up here, and a lot of reversals for you, Capricorn. Now, Taurus had a lot of uprights, but a lot of minor arcana cards. So this might take a minute to unpack with all these reversals here, because I do read reversals. I think they add a lot to the context of a reading. In the current state of affairs, we have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is coming out up in the reverse. This could be a rejection of status quo values. It could be heresy. It could also be cutting ties with a religious organization. That's also possible. Or cutting ties with a spiritual leader that you had at one time been following. You following me here? Crossing this, we have the Sun card. So whatever this Hierophant situation is, even though this is in the reverse, it is improving your life. You know that it's the right thing for you to be doing at this time. This Two of Coins in the past could also be the dissolution of a business partnership. So that's another thing that's coming into my mind now as I continue to read. Here in the Imam Silai, so this is all of the stuff in the current state of affairs that's going to be leading you directly to what happens in the midheaven or destiny position, okay? And in that position, we have the Six of Coins reversed. You could be borrowing money. There could be more money going out than is coming in at this time also. The Six of Coins is about that ebb and flow of money coming in and money coming out. And when it's upright, we're talking about a balance, a good, even flow in and money flowing out, and there's a little bit left over, and we can give it to charity, we can give it to people who might need it during this time. But where we have the Six of Coins in the reverse, then you being on the receiving end of that. Now, this is not necessarily like going into bankruptcy or anything like that. This could just be taking out a loan in order to buy a house or a car or something like that. Or it could be borrowing money from somebody, or asking for money from somebody else. From your perspective, we have the Justice card in the upright. And as I mentioned, this is a very strong card. And you can see that here we have the heart weighed against the feather, as happens in the Hall of Double Moiety in the underworld, and is presided over by Osiris and Thoth and all of those other guys. And where this is showing up for you in the current state of affairs, that really reinforces for me that you are making the right decisions at this time for what is going to carry you forward the way that you need to go. Here, from the outside perspective, we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So the Queen of Cups reversed can be somebody who is emotionally manipulating people. And from the outside looking in, people might perceive what you're doing differently than what is actually going on. The Queen of Cups in the reverse can also be somebody who, because she is associated with all these drinking vessels, she could have a drinking problem, or people could perceive that you have substance abuse issues. Now, I don't see the Devil card here, and I don't see a lot of other cards here that would reinforce that you do actually have issues with things like that. But when your behavior changes, people around you are going to perceive you differently. And when they perceive these changes, they might not fully understand them, for one. And for two, if these are people who are not meant to be part of your journey because of their own issues, those issues will take them out of your life. And so it is very possible that during this period of time, they might be perceiving you in a way that is not necessarily a reflection of how you are actually putting yourself out there. Here in the future position, we have this fire of fire energy, the Knight of Staffs. And the Knight of Staffs has to do with that spark, that fire, that creativity, that passion. It can be about a passionate love affair sometimes, but it can also be about a period of time that is coming up in your life where there's going to be a lot going on. Especially because this card is showing up reversed. I don't think that you're going to see it coming. You might just be slammed straight into it. So conserve your energy now as much as you can, because the upcoming period of time might be very busy for you. Here in the place of your hopes and fears, we have the Nine of Coins. And the Nine of Coins is a card about financial freedom and success. You can see that this man has the leisure time to train birds. He does have this snake kind of slithering between his legs there. But he's not concerned with it. And it might be that he has good health insurance. So I think with the Nine of Coins here in your hopes and fears, you are really looking forward to a time where you will have financial freedom. And it is possible. I don't necessarily see it coming into fruition right here, right? But again, these readings could be for a very short period of time. I think what you're doing right now is turning some things around and getting things in motion so that you will be able to set yourself up in that state of financial freedom in the future. Here in the midheaven position, we have the Knight of Coins. And this card is coming out reversed, but it is coming out in the midheaven, which is going to be in the future. The Knight of Coins is money coming in quickly to you. And where we have this card coming out in the midheaven position, see, right now you're borrowing money in the Imam Silai. But soon money will be coming in. So I don't know if you see that return coming into you yet. I think that there might be a period of time in the interim where money is flowing out more quickly than it is coming back. But that is going to be more of a temporary state. And then here in the final outcome, we have the Four of Swords in the reverse. And so sometimes I read reversals in the future as though you don't see that happening yet, but what I'm seeing here is that I think that there's going to be a really busy period coming up for you in the future, and that's why we're seeing the Knight of Staffs here, and we're also seeing the Four of Swords. So that is how I'm going to read that for you, Capricorn. I really want to express my appreciation to all of you for watching this video. I hope you will remember to like, share, and subscribe. And now we're going to head over to the extended. I look forward to seeing you again very